fail sneeze going on, but give me a second. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, this is someone asked me recently to do a video of all of my collection, at least of traffic lights and railroad crossing equipment. And you can see a bunch of the fans I have out here anyways. But since I'm out here in my storage locker, I was putting some stuff in here and getting some stuff out to mount on the wall of my room, which I'll see later. Here's what pretty much I have in my collection. I'm gonna go from back to front, so carefully step around these. And right back here we got some lenses. Right here's a 14-inch, I think it's glass, no right turn lens. This will be used in one of those no right turn signals they have at crossing sometimes. And that explains why they use a different light head from most lights, from the standard 12-inch lights, because these are actually 14 inches in size, rather than 12-inch. Though Crouse-hinds does use 12-inch lenses in theirs. They use standard 12-inch lenses, so I don't know why they did it for that 14-inch, but they did. And that is pretty much more or less standard. Right here we got some polycarbonate lenses. This one's Don't Walk. This was in my Eagle. As you can see, it's absolutely burnt to a crisp. In fact, there's a hole in the middle right there. Gonna stick that back under there. And then we got this polycarbonate, then we got this plastic walk lens. It's in much better shape. I actually kind of like the texture on it. But that also came out of my Eagles, replaced with the striped glass walk lens. Then right here we got the parts to my first railroad crossing belt, the disassembled Rayco. It was plain black. I believe it came from might have come from the A&WP or the Illinois Central. Probably the Illinois Central if I had to guess, because the IC did paint at least some of their bells this style black originally. Then right back here we got an Auto Road street sign. I think that would have come from like somewhere in western Alabama. I think it's like near Red Bay or whatever the Redmont Railway, I believe it's called, runs to. Then we've got a 12-inch Singer signal right here. As you can see right there, it says Singer. This is a former Huntsville signal. You can see where the back plate will have been mounted, and the paint from when they repainted it at least once while it was in service. It is fully incandescent. Then right there we got my Federal Signal 12-inch light, 12 by 20-inch light. Yeah. Oh, and also one thing I forgot, so I'm gonna step right back over here, is right down here we got some 12-inch louvers. They're used for doing programmable visibility on non-PV signal. They only fit in, of the signals I have, I want to say they only fit in this one, so I'll probably stick them in there when I get this thing hung up eventually. And then right in here, as I was showing y'all earlier, we got a dirty and broken General Signals 12-inch lens. Probably came out of Crouse-hinds 12-inch light if I had to guess. And then we got the Progress Serial 12 by 24-inch light, which I have put back together, so it's not in two separate parts. But I still need a LED for it, as you can see. And then right here's the Crouse-hinds 8-inch lights I have. As you can see right there, it says WC Hayes. These came from the CSX Dothan subdivision, because they were just laying on the ground in a pile with all the other lights in the crossing came from. In fact, I did film the crossing in the video that I took. Probably. And then the light bulb's dead, okay. So that's all I need to let them know about that. But anyways, that's they came from, I believe, I'm trying to remember what it's called. Dowling Avenue? No, I think I want to inch lights. I do know I have a video of the crossing where you can see the pile of lights this came from singing background, so. But I know it's in Donalsonville, Georgia. I'll probably mention it in the description. But a few people on my Discord have been asking for a full look at my entire crossing collection, so I thought I'd show y'all the part that's at my storage locker. So yeah, this is the first part, and I'll be showing what's in the garage next. Over and out. Alright, here's the second part of my collection. The two signals I have hanging out here in the garage. And it's right here's the LFE, it's 12-inch incandescent, of course. I have videoed this a few times before. Our concrete these are made, but yeah. HBA Castings is the one who cast these. It's the aluminum LFE. There's the back. Right there you can see it says HBA. Then over here we got a 12-inch Kennedy signal. This came from Decatur, Alabama. In fact, up there you got the GE DR DR6 LED up there. And R2 incandescent. Originally that was incandescent as well. This was actually a knockoff, more or less, of the Siemens Mark IV signal. Siemens, well, the Mark IV signal, technically Siemens SIG signal, because when Siemens took over Eagle, they decided to change casting manufacturers, so HBA took the leftover Mark IV molds, removed the Mark IV logos on the back, and added a little Kennedy branding to the top. So they had Cell compete with Siemens. So there's really no way to tell them apart directly from the back, though Kennedys are much less common on the collector's market than Siemens are. So I assume most of the signals I see are Siemens. But I mean, you can see the back here, you can see that's pretty much the exact same design as a Eagle, as a Siemens SIG Eagle signal. And this one's also got the original background on it. So yeah. In fact, a bit of a fun fact, behind that red LED is the original incandescent reflector there. Because when Decatur first upgraded to LED, they only did the reds, because it's cheapest, and they left the incandescent reflectors in case the LEDs didn't work out right. So yeah. This is the second part of my collection. Over and out. Alright, and here's the third part of my collection. Up here's some 9-inch pedestrian signals. The one on the left here is the Eagle Flatback pedestrian signal. Right here's the Crouse-hinds Type R, which I still need to repaint that or replace that lens. And then finally right here's the Sig, which I need to get rewired. I just need to redo the wiring to the controller in it. And then right here's the WRS 1203 mechanical bell. And then over here we got some bells, some more bells. Right there's the Modern Industries. Then you got my Ricoh incandescent gate light, which I still need to replace the bulb in, but I do have a new bulb for it. Then we've got the Dead Journal Signals Type 1. I still need to order a speaker for it. Then we got a Ricoh LED I picked up while on vacation. And then right there's the SafeTran. I haven't tested that guy, so I don't know if he works, but right there is my SafeTran mechanical bell. Then we got the Ricoh bell from Pratt Avenue. Then we got another Ricoh LED gate light. Then we got the Westcott-Hayes Type 2, another Ricoh LED gate light, and finally the Westcott-Hayes mechanical bell. And right here is my Crouse-hinds Art Deco traffic light. I also need to rewire this guy. And the wire for him's down here. And right here's the wire I plan on using for the Sig pad when I get redone, and then get this flag out of the way. Right there is my GE Streamline. I have them just kind of sitting there in the corner because it keeps them propped up. And then right here is an ICC pedestrian signal 16-inch, the one I have. And then coming over here to my closet, I'm going to get these out of the way because I'm going to be doing some mounting later. Right in here. Actually, I just pull this whole thing out so that way I can show y'all easily. My aprons aren't in the way. But right here, if it'll focus, give it 5 years. Right here, it's a bit hard to tell, but that's, I don't know how it's showing up, but right there is a new old stock 16-inch Wincomac pedestrian signal that I bought recently. Have yet to wire it up or anything, but it is there. In fact, right here is the original box for it, as you can see right there. It says Wincomatic Signal Company, Avon Lake, Ohio. This came from a signal shop up in New York that person bought it from. Got it from, and you got 4 of these. Put them online. First on Highway Divides for where 3 of them were bought up, include where I got mine, in fact. And then the last one was bought up by, and then the last one was put on eBay and probably eventually sold. Over here I have a bunch of signage that I had recently removed from my storage room. Some of it anyways, some of it I've kept here for a while, but right here, this is a New York City street blade from like the 70s and 80s, if I recall correctly, back when they had the colored blades denoting each borough. Each borough has, some of them I think shared same color, but this, if I recall correctly, is from Staten Island, I got an antique store in Madison, Alabama. And then over here we got an old Save Huntsville Street blade, Excalibur Drive. In fact, this was actually a street in the neighborhood that I first lived in, which is not this one, but it's a different one. One that I lived in when I was real young before I went to Virginia for about a year, and then moved back down here into my current house. So yeah, when I was like really little, like a baby. Then right here we got a Jackson County Route 51 sign. So you can see this guy's pretty faded. That guy's actually in pretty decent shape still, but they both got some bullet holes in them. And then right back here we got some more signage. Right down there is an East banner, which came from Tennessee, I believe. Let me just get this guy out of the way so I can more easily show y'all. Oh yeah, and also this guy has the signpost behind him still, which I kind of find interesting. I picked him at an antique store at. This guy got an antique store in Big Rock, Alabama. Same antique store also has a WRS bell for like $800, so no thank you. Yeah, I'll just slam down here on the main ramp and... So yeah, there's the East banner. Then we got this airport sign, which is new old stock, as you can see, because none of the holes have been punched. But I believe it's Coleman County spec. Came from a thing and came from an antique store in Coleman, Alabama. And I've seen similar ones with arrows underneath them in use in Coleman, in the Coleman area. And then we got the US Route 64 shield here. It came from Tennessee. As you can see, it's pretty well used. In fact, the reflective sheeting is peeling all over the place. And then finally behind them, let me just get this out of the way so I can show y'all. Then finally behind him we got this in 15-mile-an-hour zone. I think this guy will have come from Tennessee. He might have come from New York, because I know New York uses these. They're part of the standard New York MUTCD, or at least supplement anyways. And then, because New York uses a lot of zone speed, like area speed limits, like residential, town, city, school, etc., etc. So this would be put at the edge, and then at the end of like one of those speed limits, and you know to go back to where the other default is. Like, say you leave a town, then you know go back to 55 miles an hour because the state speed limit is 55 miles an hour. But Tennessee also uses those for their school zones, I've noticed. So that's why I think it might be from Tennessee. Either way, it's actually embossed, which I didn't quite point out, but it is embossed and also a bit beat up. And then finally over here, going to this wall, first off we have a couple of CSX emergency information signs, older ones. This guy came from the Dothan sub. Can't quite make out that dot number. I do know which one he came from, but I forget exactly which crossing he came from. It's a little crossbuck crossing just east of Jacken. Found him buried underneath some dirt, so I cleaned him off, though he's still a bit brown. Then this guy came from 350-136C, milepost ONG 1.43.18, and he's from, I believe it's Commerce Boulevard in Jackson, Tennessee. As you can see, he's got a nice little notch out on the side of him right there, but he's in pretty good shape. And this one's in the best shape of them all. He actually is one I've had the longest. In fact, he came from the West Street number 1 crossing in Talladega, Alabama, which I've yet to film. As you can see, the dot number for that one is 639318T, and the milepost is ANJ 910.41. That's of course on the Lineville subdivision. But I just found him sitting underneath the signal, sitting right in front of the signal he was removed from not long after he got replaced, because that was back in 2015. So I just cleaned him up a bit and took him home with me, and had him since. And then right there we got the Interstate 2 banner, which would be used for directing drivers to an interstate. So basically it's Trailblazer. And then right here we've got another county route arrow sign, That came from an antique store in Marshall County, if I recall correctly. So yeah, this is just a general look at my collection, since I know, like I said, a few people were asking about it on my Discord server. So yeah, just look at my entire collection. Over and out.